All right. In progress. Let's jump right into the meat of things. But before I do, I want to bring out a comment that was made a short while ago. And guy said about me using profanity. Using curse words within my tutorials or whatever you want to call it. And I say to you, brother, I have not cursed. Yes, with a straight face, I have not cursed. And I say that because let's look at the definition of cursing. Cursing is when, for example, a person is like, say, drinking some Kool-Aid. And someone sees him that really doesn't like him at all. And they say something like, I hope he choke on that pop of Kool-Aid or whatever he drinking. I hope he die. Now, that is cursing. Okay? And I say again, I have not cursed. There are those that do curse. But I say to them and those that do curse, stop cursing your brothers and sisters and curse the root of our problem. Curse tradition to its face. Call it out and curse it. Call out the bondage that has been placed on our children and the generation X, the generation that comes up right after us. Curse the very root of the thing that is leading them astray. Now, when I use four-letter words or profanity to express my pain or intensity about a given thing, that's just my freedom of expression. It's not wrong or right. It's just the way that I choose my dialect at that very moment. And it's usually balanced with how I'm emotionally attached to that certain subject or matter at that moment in time. Now, if you're going to approach me with something of any statement at all, have some validity in what you're saying. Now, I don't claim to know everything, but I know some things. And I'm looking for others that can teach me the things that I don't know. Because I know very little. I'm not speaking as if I've obtained anything. Because the same things that I've fundamentally ran across are purposed in our hearts or our mind, if you will, but it's just buried deep. A lot of stuff got to be discarded. Just like in the computer, you can put a whole bunch of information in there, and then you run across a business you want to get into, or you run across something that you like to do, and then you find out that you ain't got no more room. You ain't got no more room on your hard drive for the new information that's vital that you need. So what's the process? The process is to delete unuseful information. And that's what we gonna do. And that's what you need to do, is to start deleting unuseful information. I don't care who gave it to you. I don't care who passed it down to you. It doesn't matter. If you can't use it, discard it. If it's not of any value, discard it. So that the new information, the true information, can come through. Once you clean your disk, your solar disk, the very sun in the sky will magically, if you will, ascribe new information, because you are one of a kind indeed, chosen for this very time and this very moment. You know, when I think about how tradition has dogged people through the years and ruled and had dominion over us because of just these certain traditions that we hold on to, making us think that we can break laws of God, which is impossible to break a law of God. No one has ever broken a law of God unless he has given them the knowledge of a higher law. For instance, go to the top of a building. I don't care how many times a day you pray. I don't care if you pray to the east, the west, the south, and the north. I don't care if you gave 80% of your money to the poor. I don't care if you fasted 40 days and 40 nights. If you take your ass up on top of a building and you jump off, then you don't have natural sense. Because God is not a respecter of persons, and you will die by another aid of God, which is called gravity. You cannot escape the pull of gravity unless you have the knowledge of a higher law. Another example, stick your hand in some fire and pull it out and see won't it be burned. That is a law of God that cannot be broken unless you have the knowledge of a higher law. These are laws of God and cannot be broken. The law of man can be broken. Now we hear people, religious people say, oh, I don't like no negative people around me. I don't want to be around negative people. I can't stand negative people. Well, don't they know how negative that they sound and how naturally ignorant they are? And let me just point it out how so they are ignorant. In this universe, in this dimension, you can't have positive without negative. And let me give you a precise example. Take any one of your appliances in your house. Take the plug out the wall, bend the negative side back, and stick it in, and see if you're going to get any current. It's impossible. Okay, pull it out, put the negative side back in, and take the positive side out, and stick it in the wall. And see won't you get any current. You can't. It's impossible in this universe. You have to have the positive and negative present at the same time in order to have current. You have to touch the negative. You have to touch the positive post on a battery in order to turn your car on. It's the same in our bodies. We have negative protons and positive protons, all working at the same time. That's why we have life. We have breath. We have energy. And we have the spark of spirit. Now that comes out of the negative and the positive being present at the same time. You cannot divide it. Let me ask you this question. If I asked you, what is the most important part of your anatomy? Let me say that in a different way. What is the most important organ in your body? What is the most important? The brain. Okay. The brain could not be the most important part or organ in the body because the brain needs oxygen to exist. The heart. The heart cannot be the most important part or organ of the body because it needs blood to function. And we can go down the list. What I'm getting at is there is no such thing as one most important organ in your body. Because if you remove one organ from your body system, the whole system collapses. What am I saying? Every part of your body is just as important as all of it. Because without all of it, you have nothing. Okay. And every aspect of learning or knowledge or spiritual beliefs or spiritual viewpoints are important if they're grouped together collectively and processed, discarding the unusable or the unfruitful portions and allowing the meat to remain. In other words, cutting off the fat, the useless parts of it. Okay? all things are important. If you got a 5,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, but I pushed my hand in there and took out 78 pieces of it, I could leave and go any damn where. And I know that when I come back, that shit ain't going to be incomplete. Why? Because I made sure that you wouldn't be able to put that shit together. But I forgot about one element. I forgot about spirit. I forgot about spirit. I forgot about the universe emanating frequencies, light frequencies that's picked up. And sometimes you ever been in a situation that something happened and just an instant the solution rolls off out of your mouth, rolls right off of your tongue. And you be like, damn, where did that come from? I wasn't even, man, where did that come from? The solution to your problem is always at hand. Always at hand. If you don't have the solution to your problem, that means you need to go inside the temple. And I don't mean someplace at some boulevard at the corner of nothing and at the street of nowhere. I'm talking about within yourself. You need to go into the temple. You need to go inside and sit there and shut your mouth and listen and befriend the inner king. Thanks for listening.